morning. My name is Charlene Simpson, and I am lucky enough to be asked to give this meditation for Sunday service. I'm from Victoria, and I will be focusing on the power of divine order. We are in September after all, and that's the power of the month. So that's what we're going to do. So welcome. I will be reading from The Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Wetzel in my meditation. So here we go. So we take a nice deep breath. A starting point. And leave the activities, the to-do lists on the table. You pick that up at any time. In this moment, this is our time. And we breathe in and out easily. And we notice our breath and the constant flow of the in and the out. And we feel the muscles in our neck and our shoulders relax. We feel our spine settle. We feel our hips comfortably seated in our chair. Our legs are relaxed. And we breathe. As I enter into my calm and quiet center, I delight in my divine wisdom, my divine knowledge, and my true nature. I am quiet. I am calm. I am centered. I step into a beautiful, quiet place. And I open myself to my inner wisdom. I recognize the divine order in all things. I trust in the divine order to organize me, to adjust all my experiences, and to evolve and to develop, to progress into a growing experience. Divine order in me is well, and I recognize the divine order in me and in all things. Order is my name and my nature. I am the power of order. I connect with my innate sense of direction. I naturally attune to the magnificent source, the one mind from which all ideas flow with grace and ease. I catch my divine ideas and bring them into life by the power of order. I am the adjusting power of order. I easily sense where to place my attention. I adjust my mindset, or I correct my course of action. I am the evolving power of order, awakened to my ever unfolding consciousness. I incorporate the best of my past into my present and reach naturally toward a fuller and more enlightened future. Just breathe. By the power of order, I follow my clear path. I go through the open door. I choose an orderly course of thought and action, and I bring about order moment by moment, choice by choice. I am the divine power of order. And on this day, I take my divine power of order and I delight in organizing, recognizing, and living my life in divine order. And so it is. Amen.
Shrinking violets. I'm working on being a shrinking violet myself these days. Diet, exercise. I've been going to the gym now. I got too busy. So when I get too busy, my food intake goes up, and my exercise intake goes down. So I've been working on. I thought we were just doing the meditation music.
sped that one up a little bit for you.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome here. Welcome all. And I invite you to open up your hearts and minds today to whatever is possible. And we are grateful for being on the unceded and traditional territory of the Coast Salish people up and down Vancouver Island, and of course, the west coast of North America, and in particular, the Snuneymuxw people here in Nanaimo. I say thank you and haichka.
Running round, fixing this and that, giving it up to God, then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more, so get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do his thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to, so get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do his thing. The sun's gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up to see if it's growing. Get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do his thing.
One more time, one more time.
Get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do his thing.
I wish we had more fun. If only there was a bit more energy to the songs. It's a little bit dull, you know?
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine
so bright.
It's all good.
You
are the light, you are the light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are the light,
we are a
we
light,
are a light,
we are a light in this
a
world.
light in this world.
We are a light,
We are a light,
we are a light,
we are a light,
we are a light in this world.
wish the songs were prettier.
So for affirmative prayer today, I came across something from Reverend Mary L. Kupferl, who was a Unity minister and passed away in 2003. And this was on the unity.org website. So I invite you to just sit back and close your eyes and allow her words to speak to you in whatever way they might. Keep turning your attention to the thoughts of healing of body, healing of feelings, healing of events, healing of conditions. Saturate your thinking with contemplation of healing, with thoughts that promote healing, words that show belief in healing, attitudes that indicate you believe in the healing power. My healing is right here. It is in the air that I breathe, the surrounding I see. It fills this space and it lives within my heart. It is in the light of day and in the darkness of night. It is in the clouds and in the sunshine. It is in the cells and atoms of my body temple. It is in the movement of my mind and in the activity about me. My healing is at hand. It is nearer than breathing, closer than hands and feet. It is all present and ever available, abundant and plentiful. It is here right now, wherever I am. It is mine without stint, mine without pleading or begging. It is mine to quietly accept, to bring me peace, assurance, and blessings beyond measure. It is source, divine, and that source never runs dry, never is lacking, never withholds, never denies. It is the same yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. It is within me every moment. I praise and give thanks for this reality, and so it is. Amen. And join me for the vision of unity, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And today I will read from our daily word. Being September 11th, 2022, remembrance is today's word. You live in my heart. Whether they have passed on recently or many years ago, the people for whom I have cared deeply are alive in my heart. If I feel sad or lonely for those I miss, I pause to recall a special memory or something unique about them that made even ordinary days feel magical. Reflecting on the love and joy we shared and the blessings their lives afforded me, I feel comforted. I am thankful that these memories will always be mine to treasure. I know that life does not end with death. Life is eternal, and my loved ones will always be beautiful, beloved expressions of spirit. I am grateful those who have passed from this life experience continue to live in spirit and are forever in my heart. And from Romans 12:2, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect."
I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you
time.
I would whisper love so loudly, every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of men. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that all begins with you and me.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything,
Anything,
anything.
anything.
You believe it, there's a power.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Don't you think it's time?
Thank you, music team. Splendid as always. So, church is not remedial. And I wonder then, why do people go to church? Well, I'm not sure about most people today, but when I think after previous generations and maybe centuries, I suspect most people went to church because they were afraid not to. Right? Afraid that they would not be saved, from what I'm not sure. And afraid that they would burn in hell for all eternity. I wonder if anybody really believes that. You know, when you bring that picture to your mind, it's like, that's so bizarre. That's the worst fairy tale, totally unbelievable to me. Or more likely, they were afraid that they might be ostracized by the community if they didn't go to church. Because everybody did that. Everybody went to church. And perhaps they were afraid that their friends and relatives would judge them as having gone astray if they didn't go to church. Some of us still have those relatives, don't we? Yeah. Or if they were in business, perhaps, and rightly so, perhaps they were afraid that the churchgoers wouldn't patronize their business if they weren't church people. Or perhaps they thought they were sinners and needed to go to church for forgiveness, confession, and stuff like that. All those reasons. But then I think some people may have moved from fear-based attendance at church to habit-based attendance at church, right? Because that's what our family's always done. Every Sunday we go to church. And then every Sunday we go home and have the same Sunday dinner. Yeah? Overcooked roast beef with shepherd's pie on Monday with the leftovers, yes? Anybody?
That
Yeah.
actually sounds
Every
like
week. Every week. Habit. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. And I think some people went to church for the social aspects. Because historically, churches were the hub of the community. And you know, I traveled to Italy a few years back and stopped and saw all these beautiful cathedrals and these little villages. And I know some people think, oh, that Roman Catholic Church, they take all that money from the people. But the people didn't look at it as giving it to the church. They look at it as building our common community hall, if you will. They all owned it. There was ownership there. And it was the hub of the community. That's where people gathered. You know, that was their living room, if you will. I remember many years ago, do you remember Ann Landers? and Dear Abby. And Ann and Landers gave, and both of them used to give people who were looking for a mate, the advice was, go to church, right? You remember that? And speaking of Ann Landers, she was the one who wrote this: church is not a museum for saints, but rather a hospital for sinners. Why on earth would you go to a hospital for sinners in order to find a mate? It's like, some of us did a little better than, but is that how you think of coming here on Sundays? As a hospital for sinners? No wonder we don't call it church anymore. But speaking of Ann Landers, she did have some very wise thoughts, and she gave some good advice. I want to just share a few with you. She said, television, she's writing back in the 50s probably, television has proved that people will look at anything rather than each other. I like this one. Hanging on to resentment is letting someone you despise live rent-free in your mind. Problems are inevitable. Misery is a choice. At every party, there are two kinds of people: those who want to go home and those who don't. Unfortunately, they're usually married to each other. And this is my all-time favorite because, as you know, I just adopted a couple of dogs who think I'm wonderful. This advice is, don't accept your dog's admiration as conclusive evidence that you are wonderful. I'm bearing that in mind every day. So Ann Landers was, had some good advice, but when it came to religion and the church and social mores, she was definitely a product of the 50s. I remember her one time writing in her column that teenage girls who wore their hair in ponytails were just too damn lazy to be bothered making themselves pretty for the boys they were trying to attract. Things have changed since the 50s, and church has changed. Church has now, as compared to how it was in the 50s, to us, church is not remedial. Remedial means to provide a remedy, to fix something. And churches who think they are trying to, or believe that they are fixing people, are actually damaging people. I'm hearing the phrase these days, spiritual abuse and religious trauma. And there are support groups for people who have experienced spiritual abuse and religious trauma. It's been profound for many people. And we've all heard stories, of course, about physical and sexual abuses in the churches. But much less obvious is this psychological and spiritual abuse that many people have suffered. So abuse is a pattern in which one individual, and that could be an intimate partner or a person in authority, could be a minister, could be a priest, could be a nun. Abuse is a pattern in which one individual uses fear, intimidation, violence, or other harm to control another. And a lot of that has happened in churches. And that is not remedial. That is abuse. So any attempt to exert power and control over someone using religion, faith, or beliefs can be spiritual abuse. And spiritual abuse is not limited to any one religion. I mean, we hear stories of incredible things happening in, mass suicides and all sorts of things. But it can happen in any denomination, any group of people, in any religious group. Because spiritual abuse is, quote, anything that threatens or damages our core spiritual values. You have innate core spiritual values. You know what's right and what's wrong for you. And if somebody comes along and damages those values, what does that do to you psychologically, right? So core spiritual values might be finding meaning, altruistic love, self-awareness, visioning, and authenticity. And historically, churches, in attempting to remedy us, have taught us anything but authenticity. Yes? They have taught us to be ashamed of who we are, to conform, to be good, to behave in approved ways. And they have very much downplayed self-awareness in favor of conformity and obedience, and denied us the opportunity to find our own meaning. But not at Unity. But all that happens, and then they accuse us of being a cult. I mean, really. And of course, the major form of abuse that was accepted and put up with for many generations that is now being resisted and challenged and overcome, of course, is these issues of gender identity and sexual orientation. And millions of people have been damaged by their religion, being publicly shamed and condemned for being who they are, for their authenticity. So church is not, or at least should not, be remedial. It should be supporting who we are. It's not a place for fixing us. It's a place for recognizing our perfection, our divinity, and for celebrating our authenticity. And that's what we do at Unity, isn't it? Yes. And churches used to be a way to separate ourselves from us and from them. You know, we, the right ones who have the only truth, and them. We, the good ones, and they, the bad ones. That happened a lot in churches. So we talk a lot about the separation of church and state. And we think about these ideas of how addicted we are in our society to being right. You ever noticed that? Yeah. Right. The idea of everything is either right or wrong, and for every right there's a wrong and all. In the political idea, the whole idea of governments and countries and patriotism and all that, it's very divisive, isn't it? Patriotism, yay, we're better than you. That's essentially what it stands for. And the churches think they're uniting us, but what they're really doing is uniting factions of us and separating us from them. Yes, separating the Catholics from the Jews, from the Hindus, and so forth. It really needs to be all of us. And Thomas referred today as being 9/11, and that's the day when many people remember the events of 2001 as the most unimaginably terrible day in history, because 3,000 Americans died as a result of terrorism. And yet, every day in our world, many more people are dying as a result of war, which is just legitimized terrorism. And many more people are dying of hunger and starvation, which is economic terrorism. So when are we going to stop getting angry and retaliating because they did it to us? When can we get past that? When are we going to stop and say, what on earth have we done that people hate us so much that they want to do this to us? You know, unity is all about taking responsibility for ourselves and our world. When are our churches going to stop blessing our soldiers and our war machine and condemning theirs? You know, is that promoting peace in the world? Isn't that what church should be doing? Promoting peace in the world? Shouldn't we let go of the idea of humans as sinners who need to be punished? And if God doesn't punish them good enough, we'll do it? Shouldn't we let go of that idea and teach the perfection of all people? And knowing that each and every one of us has the potential to be a terrorist if we live in fear and if we buy into the belief of good and evil and them and us. Every one of us has that potential. No wonder, as Lenny Bruce said, every day people are straying away from the church and going back to God. Yeah? Unity teaches unity, the oneness of all of life, and the divinity of all of life. We don't need to remediate that. We just need to remember that. So church is about remembering, reminding each other, supporting each other, and staying true to that. I was talking this week with Reverend Tammy St. Amant. She is a Centers for Spiritual Living minister who was a student of mine when I was in Winnipeg. I'm so proud of her. And she is now becoming the minister at Unity Winnipeg. And I was talking with her the other day. We were catching up and touching base. And I told her about our fire. She'd heard about it, of course. And I told her about our GoFundMe campaign in support of the daycare and how well that was going. And she remarked, we always see when there is a tragedy, a catastrophe, or a challenge, she said, we see people stepping forward finding avenues to the good. And I just loved that phrase, stepping forward, finding avenues to the good. And we have stepped forward. I'm happy to report that over $4,000 has been raised so far for the daycare, and that they have located wonderful space and will be restarting school tomorrow at Woodland School. And it's not just a room, it's a room that had been converted to a kindergarten room. The tables and chairs are there. There's tons of storage. There's lockers just outside the door the kids can use for cubbies. And there's a direct access to the playground and a private bathroom. I mean, they could not have asked for more. And as I was talking about this with Reverend Tammy, Mavis emailed me from Victoria. The Victoria group often meets at First Metropolitan Church. And this week, Mavis had been directed to a different room. And she said, she looked around and said, "This looks like an abandoned kindergarten." Divine. September is order month, right? And so she spoke to a couple of people, and they said, yes, we do have quite amount of stuff we could let go. So there's little costume pieces, because the little kids love to play dress up and craft things and stuff coming in. So everything is well. And perhaps coming in this morning, you noted the message on the sign out front. Anybody see it? Yeah. It just says, positivity grows here. And that's what I want passersby to know about us. You know, that we rise above challenges and we see the good and we find the silver lining and we focus on the positive. We overlook the negativity or convert it. And we do what we can to promote the positive always, don't we? We're always creating. Always have the opportunity to create anew with our attitude, with our consciousness, with our thoughts and our prayers. And we're always stepping forward, finding new avenues to the good. Like that. Put that above the door. Stepping forward, finding new avenues to the good. We are not remedial. We are renewing. We're recreating moment by moment, creating unity, creating harmony, and creating peace. And September 21st, as you know, is International Day of Peace. And this year, again, we're celebrating and honoring peace in conjunction with Nanaimo Green Faith Circle, which is an interfaith group. And this will be this coming Saturday already, the 17th from 2 to 4 at Bowen Park Amphitheater. So if you're in or can be in Nanaimo, come on down and just be with people of all faiths, celebrating the importance of peace. And the power for September is order. Would you find order in peace? Would you find peace in order? Let's do it. I want to leave you with this statement from Unity Worldwide. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God, for there is only one power and presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position of Unity Worldwide Ministries and Unity World Headquarters at Unity Village to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name for guidance during these challenging times and pursue peace, not war. For this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. Unity stands for peace in our lifetime. So thank you for being a part of this movement and for being with us this morning. Namaste.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there.
I invite you now to prepare yourselves to receive inspiration, to receive love, and to return it into the world. So just relaxing your body and breathing gently and evenly. Become aware that in the very center of your palms, there is an energy center. Just become aware of that energy. And in that energy, there is the power to soothe and calm, to pour out harmony and peace. If you wish, raise your hands and feel that energy moving into the world. And imagine yourself releasing energy, projecting it out, seeing it expand and radiate in all directions as it leaves your body. This is the energy of your intention, pouring out peace and harmony, an unending supply. And know the vastness of you, of your energy. The vastness of the divine, unlimited, flowing through you, encircling the entire planet. See it flowing all over Turtle Island, North America. And pour out a special amount over the governing capitals of Ottawa and Washington. Bring into your consciousness every First Nations community and offer your peace, your love, your harmony. See your energy flowing over Central and South America, Australia, Africa, Europe, India, Asia, Russia, Ukraine. Just spending a moment directing that calming, soothing, healing, peaceful energy to any part of the world that identifies itself to you as needing extra care today. And remember the words of Margaret Mead, who said, "Never think that a small group of people can't change the world. In fact, that's the only thing that can." And know that we are a part of that small group of people. Let's breathe together 3 times. In. In. In, and as we let it go, let go of all doubt, all fear, all anger. and we let it be so.
Alleluia,
So glad I could help you at the end there.
No, dude, you nailed it. You nailed it. It needed that. Just that the chef's kiss.
All right. Thank you. Good stuff to do. Unity Canada Conference 2022. Rejoice, refresh, renew, know thyself. What a title. That's amazing. Conference registration is alive now. It's October 7th to 11th, and all are welcome. Come on out. What's up, Unity results? Second quarter tithes go to Mustard Seed Victoria, Nanaimo Ladysmith Schools Foundation, Comox Lions Club. And if you'd like to know more, the notes of the September 6th gathering, you can click here. Just click here. Yeah, it's on the newsletter, that same information, so just click on the newsletter. Unity Vancouver Island, Victoria, Monday Magic at the Met resumes Monday, September 12th. Monday, September 12th is a communication circle from 2 to 3 p.m. Refreshments will be served. Monday, September 9th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And Monday, September 26th, games night from 6:30 to 8:15. Also Orange Shirt Day is September 30th. And Sunday in-person live service, Oakland's Community Center, Victoria, Sunday, September 18th at 10:30. Coffee will be at 10:15. And Be the Miracle with speaker Reverend Vicky Vanderhorst. Music by Michael Drislane. Join us for the International Day of Peace, Saturday, September 17th, 2 to 4 p.m. at the Bowen Park Amphitheater. And ongoing events, second and fourth Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, prayer circle at the Spiritual Center in Comox. Seated Tai Chi in Nanaimo on Tuesdays at 10, resumes Tuesday, September 6th, so that was this past Tuesday. Thursdays at 10:30 is A Course in Miracles here in Nanaimo with Leanne, and first and third Fridays at 6:30 is Board Games Night here in Nanaimo, and you can find all of this at unityvancouverisland.com. And in Unity we thrive. Yes, donations at unityvancouverisland.com, or you can mail them in, or you can drop them off at the back door, and we say thank you to all of our community for continuing to support this incredible community and this circle of love and appreciation. Thank you all. And gratitude this week goes to Diane Jung for her years of service to Unity. I believe she's moving to California. Oh, Kelowna, sorry. I don't know where California came from. Yeah.
That was the unconscious mind. California.
They start with K, the sound K.
Yeah, K.
And so that's,
Kelowna.
yeah. She's moving to Kelowna. And here come our kids for today. Maybe they're ignoring us today. Yep. And join us for our children's blessing nonetheless. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. And today, Iris is in the prayer room after service today. And join me for the prayer for protection. The light that is God surrounds us. We are one with the light. The love that is God enfolds us. We are one with the love. The power that is God protects us. We are one with the power. The presence that is God watches over us. We are one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen.
Perfect harmony.
Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let you for coming and listening.